everyone, here is my tongue twister. If two witches were watching two watches, which witch would watch which watch? If two witches were watching two watches, which witch would watch which watch? If two witches were watching two watches, which witch would watch which watch? Goodbye, happy English day at home.
Hello everybody! Today is the English day at home. Here is my tongue twister. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Bye!
Here is my tongue twister. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. 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 Happy English day at home.
Lesser lizard never weathered wetter wizard better. Lesser lizard never weathered wetter wizard better. Happy English day at home.
11. Henry the Hippoides in a hammock. Happy English day at home. 13. Athlete with 6. Happy English day at home. Run and Ryan race red tractor. Happy English day at home. Inuit iron on a rock is in Iceland. Happy English day at home.
The seashore by the seashore, Sally sold the seashore by the seashore, Sally sold the seashore by the seashore, Sally sold the seashore by the seashore. Henri the Hippoides in the hammock, Henri the Hippoides in the hammock, Henri the Hippoides in the hammock, Henri the Hippoides in the hammock. Happy English day at home!
Hello, Henri the Hippo is in her hammock. Henri the Hippo is in her hammock. Happy English day at home, bye bye!
Inuit iron anoraks in Iceland. Inuit iron anoraks in Iceland. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan races red tractors. Happy English day at home.
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Henri the Hippo hides in a hammock. Henri the Hippo hides in a hammock. Henri the Hippo hides in a hammock. Happy English day at home.
Sally sold chisel by the seashore. Sally sold chisel by the seashore. Sally sold chisel by the seashore. Betty Bother bought some butter, but the said the butter's bitters. Betty Bother bought some butter, but the said the butter's bitters. Betty Bother bought some butter, but the said the butter's bitter. Happy English day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English day at home.
Witches would watch two watches. Which would watch which watch? Happy English day at home.
Hello everybody, today I'm going to do the tongue twister challenge. Let's do it. The first sentence is Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. And the second sentence is Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. We can say that the challenge has been validated. Happy English day at home!
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Lesser lizard never withered wetter wither better. Inuit iron anoraks in Ireland. Happy English day at home. Goodbye.
Hello, Ron and Ryan race a tractor. Ron and Ryan race a tractor. Ron and Ryan race a tractor.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore.
Hello! Ron and Ryan race tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English day at home!
Sally sold seals by the seashore. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Lester Leather never watch weather bitter. If two witches would watch to which would watch. Happy English Day at home.
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. If I put it in my butter, it will make my butter bitter. But a bit of better butter will make my butter better. So 'twas better Betty Butter bought a bit of better butter.
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Lesser leather never weathered weather better. Lesser leather never weathered weather better. Lesser leather never weathered weather better. Happy English Day at home!
Hello, Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home!
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English Day at home.
Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home.
Ron et Ryan race red tractors. Ron et Ryan race red tractors. Ron et Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home.
Hello, let's go to the twister. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Happy English Day at home!
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore.
Hi! Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English Day at home!
How much would woodchuck chuck if half? Woodchuck would chuck wood? How much would woodchuck chuck if woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English Day at home.
Okay, it's tongue twister challenge. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she says the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she says the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she says the butter's bitter. Happy English Day at home!
Ron and Ryan race tractors. 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 Happy English Day at home.
Would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English Day at
Sally sold seashell at the seashore. Sally sold seashell at the seashore. Sally sold seashell at the seashore. Ron and Ryan race red tractor. Ron and Ryan race red tractor. Ron and Ryan race red tractor. Happy English Day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English Day at home.
Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home.
Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Sally by the seashell by the seashore. A happy English day at home.
Lisa, Lisa, never, rather, weather, rather, better. Lisa, Lisa, never, rather, weather, rather, better. Happy English day at home.
Hi. Henri the hippo hide in the hammock. 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 Happy English day at home.
Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. 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 Sally sold seashells by the seashore.
Royce and Ryan race red tractor. 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 Happy English day at home.
Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Happy holiday at home.
Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English day.
How much wood will a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English day at home!
Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Three thin athletes with thick thumbs. Three thin athletes with thick thumbs. Three thin athletes with thick thumbs. Happy English day at home.
Henri the hippo hide in a hammock. Happy English day at home.
Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. How much food would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much food would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English day at home.
Hello everybody, there are my tongue twisters. Sally sold the seashells by the seashore and Inuit siren anoraks in Iceland. Bye!
Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English day at home!
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Happy English day at home!
Hello, my name is Luca. This is my tongue twister. Sally sold the seashells by the seashores. Bye!
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English days at home.
Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. Sally sold the seashell by the seashore. But Sally bought the seashell by the seashore. Sally sold the seashells by the seashore. Happy English day at home.
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Happy English day at home!
You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York. You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York. You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English days.
Hello, my name is Stephen. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Goodbye.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. If two witches will watch two watches, which will watch which watch? Inuit siren anoraks in Iceland. Happy English day at home. Bye.
The hippo hides in a hammock. Henry the hippo hides in a hammock. Henry the hippo hides in a hammock. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. He needs iron anorak in Iceland. He needs iron anorak in Iceland. He needs iron anorak in Iceland. Happy English Day at home.
Hello. Harry the hippo hides in a hammock. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English Day at home!
Ron and Ryan race red tractors.
Betty bought some butter, but she says butter is bitter. Betty bought some butter, but she says butter is bitter. Betty bought some butter, but she says butter is bitter.
Henri the hippo high in the hammock. Henri the hippo high in the hammock. Henri the hippo high in the hammock. Sally sold seashells by the seashore.
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 Happy English at home.
Happy English at home.
Sally sold seashell by the seashore. 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 Happy English Day at home.
Betty bought some butter, but she says the butter is bitter.
Go. Ron and Ryan race red tractor. Ron and Ryan race red tractor. Ron and Ryan race red tractor. Happy English Day at home. Bye.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. 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 Happy English Day at home.
Henri the hippo hides in a hammock. 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 Ron and Ryan race red tractors. 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 Happy English Day at home.
Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Swiss assets by some. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Swiss assets by some. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Swiss assets by some. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Happy English Day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. 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 Happy English Day at home.
How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could woodchuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could woodchuck?
Betty bought some butter, but she says the butter is bitter. Betty bought some butter, but she says the butter is bitter. Betty bought some butter, but she says the butter is bitter. Happy English Day at home.
Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors.
If the witches would watch the watches, which witch would watch which watch? If the witches would watch the watches, which witch would watch which watch? Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Happy English Day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore.
hippo hide in a hammock. Henri the hippo hide in a hammock. Henri the hippo hide in a hammock. Happy English Day at home.
Hello! If two witches would watch two watches, which witch would watch which watch? Goodbye! Happy English Day at home! Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. Sally sold seashells by the seashore. If two witches would watch two watches, which witch would watch which watch? If two witches would watch two watches, which witch would watch which watch? Happy English Day at home.
Hi! Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home.
With the hippo eyes in hammock, and with the hippo eyes in a hammock, and with the hippo eyes is a hammock in which around Anorak in Iceland in which around Anorak in Iceland in which around Anorak in Iceland. Happy English Day.
How much wood would the woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would the woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much would the woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Sally sold silk shawl with seashore. Witter, 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 witter. Oh, woodchuck if woodchuck could watch woods. Litter, never, witter, witter, witter.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Henry the hippo hides in a hammock. Henry the hippo hides in a hammock. Happy English Day at home. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. Sally sold seashell by the seashore. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English Day at home.
How much wood if a woodchuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood if a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English Day to you.
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Happy English Day!
Inuits iron anoraks in Iceland. Inuits iron anoraks in Iceland. Inuits iron anoraks in Iceland. Happy English Day at home.
Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter bitters. Happy English Day at home.
Ron and Ryan race red tractors. 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 And happy English Day at home.
Sally sold seashells by the seashore. 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 Happy English Day at home to everyone, and cheers. Have a nice tea time.
Okay, let's go for tongue twister challenge. Sally sold seashores by the seashore. Sally sold seashores by the seashore. Sally sold seashores by the seashore. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. Betty Butter bought some butter, but she said the butter's bitter. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Ron and Ryan race red tractors. Happy English Day at home.